You can deal with my bullshit as we start up the stream. It's fine. We'll be good. Not that song. I only just got it out of my head. Damn right, Rakaneko. See, I've had it in my head on and off the past, like, week, you know, so... Ha! Either that or the frickin' Pedro song. Those have been stuck in my head, man. Did you change alerts? They display in mid-screen? No? Why? What happened? Did it? Oh. Oh, wow. That should not be there. No, that was weird. Here, let me realign that real quick. I have no idea. Is everything else okay? No, that's good. That's also filled, by the way, thanks to frickin' robot. God damn, I'm just checking. No, that's still good. Chat's still aligned properly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that got randomly drag glitched or something. Thank you, input. Really cool. Regardless, let's go ahead and get started with everything today. How are you? Yeah, OBS being OBS. I had to clean up OBS in a day or two just to reorganize everything with that. But nonetheless, how are y'all doing? We here. We're going to be doing week 3 of HK. It's about going to be 30 v 30 with a little more or less today. Otherwise, quicker rounds. We've got 2 sectors and a terminal site, and we also have a op 4 spawn in the bottom right. This is definitely going to be a more forested assault, but tabbing out, I want to give you guys the rundown of the scenario here. I had it on my tab, but I guess Discord decided to reset, so whatever, screw me. So, this is going to be Nanard from FAWR versus Fonz from 1RW. 2 factions are going to be the Blue 4 Polish guys and the Op 4 Belarusian Spetsnaz guys. So, Blue 4 have 3 zones, or 3 objectives to be holding. 2 are worth 3 points, 1 is worth 4. The comms at Ekno is worth 4 points. The northern sector here is worth 3 points, and the terminal site is worth 3 points. Blue 4 have 2 sapper teams and 3 transport trucks, and they have the choice between 2 M1240s or 2 M113A3s with M2s up top. Op 4, meanwhile, have to capture those objectives. They're worth the same point values. Otherwise, they get a sniper team, a heavy weapons team, 6 Chemez transports, 2 Gaz Tigers, and the choice between either a BTR-80 or 2 BRDMs. Now, in the past 2 weeks, we've seen some pretty critical plays. It's been, I would say, fairly even in terms of assets and what both sides have had. But there has been a definitive winner each time. First week's game was definitely closer. That had to deal with the airfield down here in these sectors and defending. Second week, I'm going to be honest, I'm actually blanking on where it specifically was in the AO, but I do know it was a stomp out against Cats. I think it was these zones right here, actually. But now we're going to see what happens between Nanard and, scrolling back up, Fonz. Otherwise, I'm going to quickly write in the bet. What the heck is that? That is Vager music. Yeah, it didn't loop properly. There we go. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get the prediction set up. Hi. Why are you naked? You are. Oh, that's interesting. All right, nonetheless, let's go ahead and get our HK poll written up. This is going to be, yeah, the same strategy. Op 4 attacking, Polish forces, Blue 4 defending. So I'm looking for Nanard and Fonz. I could just soft log real quick and we could give a check. So Nanard is going to be on Blue 4, Fonz on Op 4. And let's go ahead and get that written in. I'll set that for 15 minutes. Oh, looks like the round actually began. So let's go ahead and get everything sorted here, right with the prediction going up. So Op 4 Spartan in the bottom right corner. Again, their choice is either BTR-80 or 2 BRDMs. Gonna be honest, both are pretty soft-skinned. BRDM's definitely more mobile. However, this is... Hold on. Hun, can you turn that down? Can you turn that down? Yeah, that works too. All right, regardless. Lost my train of thought. This is only about a 30v30, so BTR-80 might be better for fielding infantry. They might not have the infantry to field two BRDMs. BRDMs normally are really good for reconnaissance and ambushing convoys, but on an attack mission, I would say the BTR-80 might be better compared to managing the BRDMs, but just depends on what the squads decide to do, especially since this is definitely going to be more of an infantry-based fight. Let's go ahead and go over our details of everything here. So, we already went over everything with the tasks, briefing, mission details, 1,500 meters of render distance, 175 fortified points, excuse me, for the defender. Fortified color is going to be green, and the time limit is going to be 55 minutes, which means we only have about 10 minutes for that safe start. Otherwise, skipping all the plug-in stuff because that doesn't really matter. Op 4 loadouts are going to be those Belarusian Spetsnaz we've seen, so AK-12s, their version of a PKP, SVDs for the marksmen, RPG-7 for their light anti-tank, medium anti-tank is going to be a Maz, and then they have this, I still don't know what that is, but it is some form of 308, 338, 300. It's definitely a bigger caliber for a sniper. Might be a 12.7 alligator for all I know because it does have that clip in the back, but still. Or magazine, technically. Then they got those 5 Cam-Ash transports and those 2 gases, and the choice between the BTR or the BRDMs. Looks like the officer has selected the BTR, and again, I would probably agree with that choice. It's Fonz going to be commanded for Op 4. He's got Pierce, Nolik, Bursty, NT under Alpha 1. Alpha 2 has Henry, Snodgebear, Goose, and Nuzzy. Boyer 1 has Ash and Tackleberry. Boyer 2 has Dennis, leaving that to be a 3-man team. Macmarine leading Chekhov 1 with Lolo, Korvac, and Seismo. Fedin 1 has Oren, Kajonovich, and Kyle. Hotel 1 has Nemesis, Cullis, Cats, Malin, and Iander. Hashara 1 has Twakin and Roderick, and Fedin 1 has Samuel. So we'll probably see some of those units redistributed because we definitely see some smaller teams in play here. Nonetheless, going to turn my render distance up just a touch. I like to match the render distance we see from the player base here. So if I were to pan out and look and highlight, that's about... Yeah, okay, so this is about that same render distance, not including the foggy layer, but this should be about the range of what they see. Otherwise, looking at Blue 4, we have Nanard commanding with Baku as the 2IC, Settler commanding Alpha 1 with Adricip, Jafra, Germa, Gemera, I always call him Germa though, Gerald, Brother Erectus, and Wojak. Bravo 1 has Misano, Rivi, and Emil. Alright, cool, we fixed that. It's back in the top right. Empty, how you doing, buddy? Bravo 2 has NASA leading Lola Wonder and Royd Camper. Echo has Oddball with Watts, and Killer J. Echo 2 has Whiteside and Dewitson. Golf 1 has Wiki Quartz, Templar, Gushovsky, Mark Sick, Rambo Bambo Rocket 19, and Skipu. And then we've got Zixme, top player right there with Demovar and Rigel, and Charlie 1. Charlie 2 has Cuboid, and Hotel 1 has Marty. Otherwise, Blue 4's assets between the 2 unarmed MRAPs and the 2 armed M113s. Looks like they're going with the armed M113s. They also have 3 transport trucks with them. We see that right there, and then the commander's choice. Loadouts for them is going to be Polish reconnaissance forces, but they've got ACRs with their Polish version of the PKT, or not PKP technically, but it has the scope on top. And then we've got SVDs for them, and then their version of the RPG-7. Regardless, looking at objectives, just to remind everyone coming in, Sector 2 down here at the comm site is going to be worth 4 points. The terminal site that Killer J is next to right there is worth 3 points, and Sector 3 is worth 3 points. How we determine a winner for these rounds to pay out predictions is whoever has more points by the end of the round. So basically, whoever has control out of 2 of the 3 objectives. Remember though, once a sector is taken by the attackers, it cannot be retaken by the defenders. With that said, this is a weekly competition, though. There's always 2 rounds. After this round, they're going to flip-flop for HK's rules, and the winning commander of the week is determined by whoever scores most points. So if, let's say, Blue 4 only lose 1 sector this round, and they gain, 6 points, let's say they lose this sector, but in the next game, they win, more of the points there and are able to bounce it back, technically we're not going to know who the winner of the week is until both rounds actually play out. Their safe start dropping. That might have only been 5 minutes, actually, to my clock, but nonetheless, it is going to be a 60-minute round from the looks of things. So we'll just have to see how things go. But again, what I just said doesn't matter in terms of the actual betting phase. We handle that round to round. Nonetheless, Blue 4 have both their 113s mounted up. They've got a pretty large defense around Terminal 1 and Sector 3, possibly foregoing Sector 2 unless we see these 113s drive down. Meanwhile, Op 4 already mounted up with that BTR-80, and we see a big force going south with a small strike team going around the side. So, probably going to take 5-10 minutes to deploy all of their forces as they go around, and we'll just have to see how things go. Only 1.5 rotagens. Righto, NC. Well, I hope you're doing okay. Sniper is the KSVK 12.7. Alright, I will try to remember that going forward. How come I watched the entire 24-hour Arma 3 stream and it still wasn't enough Arma 3 for you? I will admit, that stream was a lot of thinking on my feet. I have started scheduling the 24-hour DayZ stream, though. I've got a date selected because I literally just scheduled myself for the next 2 months. And, well, that was also kind of painful, but we got there. Just had a lot of potential double bookings I had to work out amongst various different things. But tonight, while I'm doing something else, I'm going to be DMing Razor and Ghost Wolf on the date and then getting all that sorted. I'm going to be honest. I feel like I have recovered from the 24-hour stream. It's just been a matter of... Ghost Wolf, I haven't booked the time slot, then I'll DM you and Razor about it, but it's just a matter of, after that stream, after that full 24 hour, I was actually fine. Like, I had to literally go push myself to go to bed, because Bloodwing made me some nice breakfast. I had a nice bounce back for the last mission file, because the one before that, the one where they were pushing out of the Central Altus Air Force Base to Sirda, I was dead. I was definitely dead. But I think I've recovered more or less. I've just been sleeping in the past 2 days till like 10ish and been fine. So that's been okay. But we'll see how the 24-hour DayZ stream goes. It looks like scheduling wise though, because I had a lot of stuff come up on the weekends, we're probably not going to get it till the second week of August just because of all the IRL stuff I've got in that sort of way. But anyway, looking at Obsidian. So you know how I was looking for a job? Well, it's even worse. At the end of the month, I will be homeless, but I hopefully will be transferring to a dorm on campus at my dream school. Hey, Obsidian, that sounds good. I'm sorry to hear that you might be homeless, man, but, I mean, as long as you can get into that dream school of yours, chase your dream. Gosh, I remember Patchwork struggled for a very long time to find a job, but he eventually got one. I think he's a baker now. That makes 2 people I know are bakers right now, but... Hey, man, you gotta chase life somehow. So, good luck, buddy. Hope everything's okay with you. Oh. And then, Ian, I keep seeing you bring up the fact that you're talking about a DayZ server. Can you give me a rundown of what you're trying to do with that? Because I don't think we've actually had that conversation. We might have, and I just forgot. But what are your plans with that, buddy? I am just, coming back? Yeah, got you, guys. We'll got you. Again, we'll coordinate. And Revy, it goes... Everything's A-okay with that, and we'll see how things go. Op 4 with a 95%. I'm going to be honest. Last week with Cats commanding with Scandi Recon, the fact that he went 0-2 for both rounds kind of shows me that you can have one of the best teams in this game that we know of from Friday Night Fights and still get the floor wiped from you. And it also goes to show that Scandi Recon's tactics on a macro level don't work. Because you have to make every community as aggressive as you in their movements, and they just won't do it. If he was able to get that, though, he would have wiped the damn floor last week, but he didn't because the rest of the groups were very sluggish and rigid, and it kind of showed, you know? So we'll see how Fonz and Nanard work out. 2 players from communities that are amongst those slower-to-move communities, but they're solid. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think we're going to see some pretty even trading tonight in terms of weaponry and assets. It's really going to rely on how good the commander's plan is and how well that commander can basically adjust forces on the fly. And honestly, this could swing either way. This isn't a, oh, I know XYZ is on this team, they're going to do better. It's not, because we saw last week that made no freaking difference. If anything, it was worse. So we'll just have to see how things go. Yeah, it's... What I learned from doing that 24-hour stream, though, is I remember I did something similar, like, 6 years ago. And I'll admit, I was fine. Like, that was done and done, because I was much younger, and I was, like, drinking age for America. Like, just hit, like, 21 or 22, and I was fine. But, no, that one definitely, it took a few moments. Got to be careful with this vehicle, though. It keeps driving out of bounds, but I think they're just trying to find a way to attack from a different angle. Meanwhile, Op 4 bringing all their forces to attack through the forested area to hit Sector 2 first. That's a really good strat, because it keeps them in this forested area. And then they can more evenly take this position out. I'm really worried about this garrison here, though, because they're only forming first group defenses here. That's leaving a lot of room for Op 4 to run up satchel buildings, throw grenades into fortifications. These guys are going to possibly pack themselves in the buildings too, which at close range, I mean, the satchel thrown right here is going to kill everyone in that building. So we have seen some really good satchel plays, though, with HK so far, and I'm really curious to see that continue. But I don't know. Blue 4 might be a little spread out, but at the same time, they definitely have side vehicles ready to ambush with those heavy 50 cals. So could really go either way here.
Team 6 now.
Had no idea HK Season 2 started. How many players in total?
6or, buddy, how you doing? Hope everything's okay with you. Thanks for that 21-month resub. There are 64 players in total right now, so it's a bit on the smaller side in terms of PvP that we cover, but I do like covering platoon versus platoon, which is anywhere from like the 50 to 90 range, because that's where individual infantry tactics are not only more important than you would say on like a macro scale like we see in OFCRA where they always break 100. But when you have smaller amounts of players, it's much easier for the commander to properly coordinate with everybody because you don't have to have like a company command net for platoons. You just have the platoon net, and then you can individually talk to your 4 squad leaders and get a lot more coordination down. So we'll see how that goes. I think honestly the numbers fit what this PvP event is going for, which is commander PvP. They really are emphasizing the actions of command to get things done. So we'll have to see how things go with that. But glad to hear you're doing okay. But yeah, no, what I learned in doing the 24-hour stream is I definitely need at least 1 or 2 energy drinks, and I definitely need to meal prep. I definitely need to eat in the middle because otherwise the fatigue kills me. But, I mean, especially at the end. Bloodwing gave me something to eat towards the end, and then I was right as rain, so I could pull it off. And then I over-prepped on the frickin' energy drink side, so I've got, 5 of them, which granted 3 of them I can turn into Irish trash cans, but the 2 5-hour energy drinks will just keep that for later. But here's the thing. That 24-hour op, I'm going to be honest, was very messy. All right? The first 2 ops had a lot of me thinking on my feet and adjusting the server on the fly, and I've already rained hell on a few people, but all of it was preventable. Because everyone decided to test the shit last minute that I gave them 10 days in advance. But they want to do another one. They want to make it like a once every 6 months thing, so the next one probably going to be around December. And I've already been chatting with a few of them, and, although mistakes were made, we're going to really utilize what we've already set up in terms of all the formatting and whatnot, and the processes for everything, because they did a really good job in other aspects, like setting up everyone and training them in like cat medical and communication, and they did everything right. It's just, server dropped the ball on that, but preset for the server and everything on that front is set, and then, they have a working group mod set. So they also potentially talked about maybe throwing all that out and then doing like a Vietnam-style mission to keep everyone even. So there's a lot of potential. And then, I could, maybe ask them if we could do a 24-hour pay-for-page stream. But that might take a year, all right? I gotta weasel my way and get on everyone's good side before I ask for something like that, right? But, yours truly will do his best. So, continue to have your faith in me, and I will try to get you guys what you want, because I know quite a few people like you would like that. So, we'll get that sorted. But, yeah, next one's going to be probably around December, and we'll see how that goes. Regardless, we still have Op 4 pushing up. Looks like they have their vehicles. This is interesting. So they've got a good chunk of their infantry in vehicles holding back. They've got a little bit of an overwatch through this open field to make sure Blue 4 isn't going to send any flanking actions. And they're literally just sending a squad through the forest. Smokes just got deployed. I don't know if that was because they noticed the BTR or what. I didn't see any tracer fire go out. That might have just been an accidental discharge. Oh, boys. You never want to prematurely detonate. It ruins the mood. And look at that. This vehicle has lost its overwatch position by prematurely ejecting those smoke rounds. And that has kind of shown Op 4 that there is a vehicle asset there. So Blue 4 is forced to pull that back. And now Op 4 knows that there is a potential flank coming in. But what does scare me about Op 4 here is we're only seeing a single squad go up to Sector 2. Where's everyone else? We have a lot of people in the back line. Little bit of Overwatch fallacy going on. So if Op4 continues this attack, Blue 4 can potentially counter it, envelop this one squad, defeat it in detail, and then Blue 4 is going to constantly be ahead in its point game here in terms of assets and manpower. However, we do have a 3-man team down here. It's one of their sapper teams, because we saw that mine layer, though. They might have dropped off a few explosives on the road up here, and we do have another Op4 squad coming in from the north. So Op4, it looks like they're trying to do a pincer maneuver of some sort to try to see where Blue 4 isn't defending, maybe to try to sneak in and take one of the objectives. But Blue 4 has done a really good job of keeping things evenly distributed. However, that plan doesn't work as well if Op4 decided to just send everything on one flank and sweep the sectors accordingly. So I don't know. This really is just going to keep things even, if not more towards Blue 4's favor because of how deployed their forces are. But I'm going to be honest, Blue 4 having even control of all 3 sectors is still a decent strategy if Op4 decides to attack them one at a time, because Blue 4 can quickly, again, since this is commander-focused PvP, order its squads to come around and envelop an attacking force. Why are you poking your fingers together? What do you want? What do you want? What do you need? Yeah?
Girlfriend stabbed her boyfriend trying to aim for his dick, right? Instead...
What?
Okay. A girlfriend tried to stab her boyfriend in the dick.
Oh, okay.
She was mad at him.
Are you mad at me?
She missed and stabbed him in the thigh.
Yeah?
So does that mean she's going to get charged with a misdemeanor?
I'm streaming. I'm going to come up during your important business meetings with your government contracting company, and I'm going to tell stupid jokes, too. How does that sound? Everyone's going to have to listen to it.
Hey, chat, tell me if you like my stupid joke.
Oh, my fucking God.
That's the difference.
That's the difference. Oh, okay, so will your
What do you
coworkers...
mean, get out of here? What do you mean?
People are here for PvP, okay? If you want to stream, you can take up streaming, and I know you'd immediately do better than me. Motherfucker. I love you. You're a goober.
Here, you get to.
I get... Oh. I can't speak in the microphone. It peaked immediately because you just smashed your tits in my face. I'm not complaining, though. I'm not complaining.
I like that you have to specify that.
Yes.
So that I'll do it again.
Yes. Anyway, back to PvP. Oh, what a wonderful life this is. Bloodwing's doing PvP. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Blue 4 have now grabbed this truck and have pulled back. I don't know who gave that gunshot. I did hear a gunshot earlier, but I don't know. PVT? Player versus titty. Regardless, maybe that gunshot freaked them out. Now they're pulling everything back here. But this has now created a massive gap for Op4 to just exploit and at least get some points in the board. And if Blue 4 doesn't transition back to Terminal 1, Op4 could end up sweeping both of those objectives. That means this squad, though, is going to be left to dry, but when you do a strategy like this, the intent is to pull everything to it to open up the back line so you can get everything else to go in. And you do have these trucks on standby, meaning Op4 does potentially have an idea to rush in. Get it? Because they're Belarusian. So we'll see how things go. What did you just put on my head? These are... okay. Anyway. So is Bloodwing Blue 4 Op 4? She's whatever she wants to be. Alright, so I have a feeling this Blue 4 group might get either rushed on by forces here or enveloped. I don't really get why we're seeing a force come around here. Maybe they're overestimating what Op 4 has specifically. I'm also going to turn my mic down just a touch, because I am having a few small peaking issues, but let me adjust those numbers. That should be good. A little quieter, but so the mic doesn't peek through the box there. Regardless, I want to turn it up just a bit more. All right, cool. So now, I mean, it's a waiting game. Op 4 is going to basically get Sector 2 for free, and you got to remember that one is worth 4 points compared to the other 2 objectives, which are worth 3. So I got the caveat with it, though, is that it is, I think, the worst objective to guard because it's right next to a bunch of forests. At least with Terminal 1, you do have some open areas around it from certain directions, and then we've got Sector 3 up here, which has even more open area, and they've even extended the perimeter to cover more of the open areas by the forest, so this is definitely the best one. Though Blue 4 decided to put in a bunch of extra manpower up in this objective, which is just a covering objective, but Blue 4 doesn't really have the manpower to deal with that. Nonetheless, Op 4 going to be going up here, and even though they're going to run into this Blue 4 group, that's going to pull more forces north to try to envelop that group, which creates a bigger gap for Op 4 to just charge right in with. I don't really get why we have these guys on Overwatch. It is Scandi, so maybe they'll be immediately sent in to do a flanking attack, but I think Op 4 doesn't realize, well, obviously they can't realize what Blue 4 is doing, but they're being handed a really good opportunity here. So we might see Scandi mount up in a truck and drive in. They could potentially get ambushed, though, but then this group is going to continue on to Sector 1 as these guys take contact. So I think these guys are being attracted to the engine sound of the 113. We're about to have first contact here between Blue 4 and Op 4 on the northern side, but we'll see how Blue 4 reacts. 50 cal now firing down. RPG fires, it goes over though. I'm gonna be honest, that's all Op 4 needs to do right here. They can then pull back into a defensive position and fight the infantry that'll come to them, because Blue 4 is now gonna send reinforcements north and pull more stuff out of this area. What's gonna be the real confusing part though is we're eventually gonna see a notification in a moment for sector being taken down there. You good? Okay. Alright, so looking at Op 4's numbers here, they haven't taken any losses yet. Blue 4 had a knockout, but they're now pulling back. And we have another Blue 4 group coming in from the south with the other 113 starting to push in. Meanwhile, Op 4 haven't nudged into the sector just yet. But look at everything on Blue 4 turning around and trying to come up here. Op 4, I'm going to be honest, has a really great opening here. It's going to matter how quickly they try to exploit it. Sector turned red, so now it is being taken. And you got to remember, if Op 4 takes 2 of the 3 objectives, that's GG. They don't have to take all 3 like how FNF works. So Blue 4 basically falling for the bait here. Op 4 gonna push it, keep everything to the border, pull more stuff north. And now we're seeing the rush in on the side here. Do these guys have a vehicle, though, to get in? Because if the trucks leave them behind, they're gonna have to walk on foot, which I don't agree with at all. They have to have a vehicle around, because otherwise that's just gonna be a long run. We got one guy going back. Okay, so they do have a transport truck, and they're gonna mount that up and follow in. All right. Now we've got this Blue 4 group potentially going back diagonally. They're going to have to go to Sector 1. And this is giving Op 4 a really good position to actually take the objectives here. Blue 4 now holding on the border. Op 4 just staying in position, going a little bit more north to pursue them. Other group is pulling back the other direction, forcing more Blue 4 to go north. Pulling them further out of the sector. Hun? You okay? What fell? Gotcha. All right. Now, Op 4, they're cutting their engines. They're going to dismount in this forested area and then immediately go from Sector 1 and cut through that open area and create an L-shaped assault on Terminal 1. That's going to be incredibly difficult for Blue 4 to beat, especially since they're now turning around, realizing Sector 2 is almost taken. They're going to try to form an improvised perimeter here, but Op 4 is going to have a really great attack wave coming from the south and the west. Meanwhile, Op 4 now counterattacking the little Blue 4 position right here, thus further putting pressure on it and forcing more Blue 4 to continue their northern area, northern push, or I guess their sweep, away from the actual objectives. Blue 4, though, doubled down on Sector 3's defense, still have a lot of forces around there. That's where we're going to see a big amount of issues between Op 4 and Blue 4, but I think Op 4 are going to win this unless they just decide to slow down, but I don't see it. Anyway, we see one Blue 4 guy immediately getting flanked and taken out. That was Lolo. Bassano died earlier up here. Op 4 still on no casualties. This is Twig King's group doing all this. We had a knockout, but an immediate wake-up. Grenade gets thrown. but minimal damage because Op4 was prone. We see some more grenades exchange, another knockout. That could do a double tap. And that takes out another Blue 4 member. So, that is Lolo, NASA, and Masano taken out early on. Usually some pretty heavy-hitting players, but Twig is doing hit and runs. You see him now immediately pulling back. That shows that he is literally trying to pull all of Blue 4 he can out of the play zone where the objectives are, so he can basically pull as much Blue 4 out of the zone to make the zones easier for the rest of Op4 to take. That is a really good play on Twig King. We see some mortar fire coming in from Op4. I didn't realize they had a mortar on station. That would be Scandi. That's why they're back here with Hotel. You see the spent shells right here. They fired a good 7 or 8 around this zone. And one of them gets a kill! Oh my god. Okay, yeah, one of the 113s had Kommand in it, so I was about to say, if Kommand just got killed by a mortar, that'd be pretty funny, but that was Rigel, part of the crew for the other 113, and this is definitely softening up the target now as Op4 set up this L-shaped attack. We also have a few guys up here on standby, maybe to lend support or a way out for this Op4 squad to come in and do the attack. That's an interesting call. We have another AT round come in. We do see a damage texture on this 113. It's returning fire with 50 cal, but that 113 might be dead in the water. Second RPG goes in, misses, goes left. Yeah, you're right. The mission command is not updated. What the hell? There we go. Oh, I just realized it only ate half of the That's so weird. All right, I'll get it fixed for the next one, but it has a half of what I wanted to write at least in there. Sorry about that. I think that's a latency issue with the server, but whatever. So I think we just saw... No, we still don't have any dead Op4 yet. I thought the 50 cal picked somebody off, but Op4 down 4 bodies, or yeah, no. Blue 4 down 4 bodies, though we are about to see a potential counterattack here, but they're setting up this nice defensive zone. Because, again, I think they're just relying on trying to pull people. Blue 4's not going to send any more up there. But it's now going to rely on Op4 making this assault happen. But they still got a decent amount of defenders to fight against. We'll see if this flanking team can come in. Because they can either assault the flank of the infantry defending or trying to counterattack here. Or they can go right for Terminal 1 and cause Blue 4 to eventually pull back to try to hold the zone. So Blue 4 in a really tough position here. GL goes out. Way short. Yeah, there's supposed to be more in that command, but for whatever reason, it didn't save. So, screw me. Can't have everything go perfectly in an Arma 3 stream, right? Shark, it's your internet, buddy, because I've got no drop frames on my side. Anyway, Op4 pushing in immediately, taking fire from the left. We got suppressive fire from that M2. It's just trying to slow the assault down, which, not going to lie, actually won't work in their favor, because that's going to give Op4 more time to assault. I just don't get why Op4 is spread out like this over a few hundred meters. They should all be unified going into Terminal 1, because now we're going to see a few KIA here. Iander is dead. Snodgeper and Pierce have been knocked out, and Blue 4 is now tightening that gap. We see Op4 way too separated out right here to really be effective on any sort of flanking attack, and that's leaving this squad down here high and dry as we have 3 knockouts now. And then we've got Op4 still with the mortar back there. I feel like Op4 is now potentially being defeated in detail because they've spread themselves out way too much. Now we have Blue 4 attempting to do a counterattack up north. We do have Kajonovic down. But they have gotten another Blue 4 knockout, and that would be... It's hard to say. Oh, Zixmi went down. Damn. One of the heavy hitters tonight, but... No, that team at this rate, they're going to knock out everything over here and then come from the north, but by then, is there going to be anything left to support? BTR is going to poke out. Not sure if it's going to be able to get any kills on the lumber mill over here. We do see some pretty hefty fortifications. Do see some guys joking around here. BTR might be... Oh, no. Question is, if the BTR spot them monkeying around, or is that tree in the way? Yep, trees are in the way. Here's some more firefighting going on as Op4 is trying to be aggressive now. Samuel pushed up. Cuboid knocked out. Needs to be double tapped. Salvi, thanks for the 42-month resub.
42 months. God, that's like almost Like 2 years or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, buddy. It's almost 2 years. Yeah. Yeah. More like 3.5, but yeah, sure, buddy. Look at that mortar fire coming in right onto some of Blue 4's positions. They were in fortifications, though, so it was only minimally effective, but those rounds were right on target. However, with the trees and the rocks and the dug-in fortifications, it's not going to do too much. But nonetheless, Gensality, thank you again for your support. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Honestly, at this point, it's anyone's game. Op 4 are too divided amongst Blue 4's defensive lines. They could be defeated in detail. Op 4 could win this fight up here, though, but then have to trickle in, and then it's... I don't know. It's going to just be a fight to see who gets Terminal 1 at that point to win the round. And it looks like Blue 4 is mostly sticking to defensive, so this line can get sandwiched on both sides. You got the mortars going off on this position. If they were adjusted to where Blue 4 actually had their defenses, that would be doing a lot more damage, but I can't discount it because it has at least gotten a single kill. All right, BTR is now coming out, and it is suppressing the buildings. I do see units coming around to flank. Rambo Bambo, Iraqi 19 there is an engineer, so we might have some explosive solution for it, but there is some infantry around. We do hear a 113 coming up. It might try to shoot out that BTR with its 50 cal. More mortar rounds coming in. But again, they're not going to be scoring any additional kills as Blue 4 hunkers down, which is why you see these Op 4 kind of halting. If they had better coordination with Op 4, they would know that there's a force right here that they can then pincer, but... yeah, at this point, Blue 4 is just going to lock down. Blue 4 have lost the northern attack, and they've pulled everything back accordingly. So, really anyone's game at this point. We just need to see what the squads do at the micro level against what is remaining. But I doubt Blue 4 is going to be doing any more maneuvering rather than just static defense for the rest of the scenario. We could see a Sector 3 push out, but at the same time, I think the mortars are going to make Nanard hold. But at the same time, Nanard is in a 113 driving around the outskirts of the AO, so he might not have direct eyes on everything that's going on. So definitely more in Op 4's field right now to at least take 2 of the 3 objectives. The final one's going to be the tough one, though. All right, we see that they've mounted up in a gas. They might be out of mortar rounds, so they're just going to drive in and assist the infantry push. That extra bit of reinforcements from the south could be really helpful. I hope they don't drive out and open up another attack angle because it's not needed at that point. They just need to reinforce. Engineers making a break for the vehicle. We do have some infantry around, but will they actually pull security properly? You got to remember, both sides, they do have ACOGs on their weaponry with magnified optics, so they can lock down a lot more in a firefight compared to, you know, something like FNF where they mostly have red dots. They're going to be a lot more effective. So Watts, he's up a kill, crawling around as this machine gunner here. Oddball caught out in the open. He is picked off by Henry. Taking some return fire, but it's not accurate. Just general suppressive. Now you got Op 4 starting to move into the zone. They're taking fire from a few infantry and garrisons here. So that's going to slow them down, but give time for the remaining 3 to come in. You could see Blue 4 try to pull in and hit these guys from the rear, but they're pinned by the 3 Op 4 to the south. Meanwhile, BTR under potential threat from this engineer. Wow. Looks like the sappers had a mine go off and take out the BTR. Rambo might go up and try to do an explosive placement or whatnot to confirm the kill. Infantry on the flanks, but not anywhere to assist. Satchel gets thrown. That BTR is toast. Beautiful play. And that removes the BTR from the field. Great double tapping by Rambo. He knew those mines were here and figured the BTR might try to go on them, but that just gave him a lucky break to immediately take it out. Still, we do have Seismo over here with an RPG. He is hunting for this 113. And this does have Blue 4 command in it, which means if he goes down, it's going to be up to the infantry just to hold their sectors, but Op 4 pushing into the terminal site. I think Op 4 has won this round at this point. Still great infantry action here. RPG goes in, gets a direct front hit, disables the engine. Nanard has no, or is it Nanard? Yeah, Nanard on the gun has no idea. Oh, Nanard's driving. It's Baku has the 2IC. I didn't realize both of them got a beret. But second RPG goes in, misses. And the Blue 4 lead jumps out and immediately tries to figure out where that RPG gunner is. But Rambo has come in from the rear, and I think he's putting pressure on Seasmore, at least trying to fire in that direction. And then you got the rest of Op 4 now coming in. Blue 4 Command in a bad position. He does get the kill, though, on Seasmo, only for his gunner to get taken out by the flanking action of Mac Marine here. Hopefully there won't be a red on red on this instance, but Blue 4 Command in a really bad spot. Meanwhile, terminal site for Blue 4, all of the people in the tree line have gone down. Duitson's the only one alive. Op 4 sweeping this area. It's GG at this point. The question is, can Op 4 continue on to get a perfect score to force either his opponent tonight, which is Nanard. So let me take a step back and put that in context. If Fonz gets a perfect score by taking all 3 objectives, Nanard cannot win this week. He can only tie, but that means he has to take all 3 objectives from Fonz when the roles get reversed in round 2 and Fonz plays defense, which is incredibly difficult to do. I will say, though, that did happen last week against Cats. Cats went 20-0 on the points, 2-0 on the, or 0-2 on the rounds. Might see that happen again this week, but anything's possible. All right, so Nanard's not really... He's not going to pull back to friendlies. He's going to try to hold on his own. Very, very tough to do. Tackleberry gets the last kill in the building. Hack gets started. That's a 2-minute timer. Op 4 now going to continue on. Maybe Blue 4 sends a few out. Scandy pulling open another angle here. They're going to try to basically attack the final objective on multiple different fronts. That's a tough call. Blue 4 Command, meanwhile, gets... No, killed completely, actually. It's Rambo Bambo Rocky 19 that is on con. And now Blue 4 are just kind of left defending for themselves. Sniper over here, Jamera, I like to call him Germa, with that 12.7 and that big 260 scope, immediately gets blown away after he misses a close shot. He loses to the real 12.7. My bad. So that's the KSVK, yeah, with that big gun. This, I remember, it's a 300 sniper that Blue 4 gets. Technically a marksman rifle at that point. Emil might try to push out on his own. That's a really bad idea because he got these open fields to contest with. Yeah, it's a 2-minute timer, but you're not going to really be able to make that. Op 4, I would say, outnumber Blue 4 here, but this is the best zone to cover. And they have a lot of openness, but they don't really have the numbers to hold it. If anything, I would tell these guys to pull back and to do an even final hold of this position. But because Blue 4 Command doesn't exist anymore, it's just up to the squad leaders to rally. So... with 28 minutes remaining, this is definitely going to be a quicker round. And I agree, the rifle of your weapon isn't really, up to a certain point. If you get hit in the chest with a 12.7, you're dead. So, I mean, that guy can make chest shots all day. A 308 won't always kill you if it hits your plate carrier. It'll definitely kill you in the head, but, you know, headshot is a headshot. But if you have the 12.7 sniper and you know you can just chest shot him, then just chest shot him. Take care of it. All right, Op 4 now continuing with that squad, and some of these guys were the original squad that already wiped another squad from the north, so they are pretty well set here, and they've linked up with a few other Op 4 players as well, so that's a pretty devastating force to go in. Meanwhile, you got... This is going to be a 3-pronged attack, and based off of the distance of everything, it's going to be, whether it's coordinated or not, they're all going to hit the final objective at the same time. That is going to completely overwhelm the defenders here. And as I predicted, as Emil went out, he's immediately picked off by some of the defenders here. We do have another guy coming around. That's Roy DeCamper. He is up a kill as well, but will it be enough? 12.7 is for sniping, I know, but it's Arma. It's going to kill you. So he's solo clearing this building. You do have Kremet out here with that ACOG AK-12. This force looks like they've slowed down. This group is going to run into that defensive group. Scandy is going to try to push in first. We'll see if they're able to take care of anything. Oh, I'm not making an Adriano call just yet. If I want this game to wrap up, then I'll make the Adriano call. There's still a chance for Blue 4 to hold. It's just going to be incredibly difficult, but there is an opportunity. If this fight carries out and this fight carries out, Blue 4 immediately wipes the 4 guys, reinforce the northern flank, wipes this group, and then this group finally trickles in and gets wiped as well. Do I think that's going to happen? No, but it is still entirely possible. You also have these guys getting pinned by this position up here, so with these guys attacking this area, that is going to relieve this position as they move in. But now you've got multiple... Oh, no, he hears the door opening. Do not push downstairs! He could have just held the window, but never mind, he scores a double kill. Wow. That was incredibly lucky. Holy shit, Roy is channeling his inner Adriano. Beautiful double kill lineup right there. And he's nullified OpFor's southern group from advancing. He's going to be on 3 kills now. Beautiful takedown lineup there with only, you know, half to a third of his magazine remaining. Meanwhile, the attack is starting on the northern side. That's going to keep these guys pinned. But you've got Scandy getting behind the blue 4 element trying to assist. That's a multi-head headshot there. Malin eventually gets the kill, but that's a very powerful helmet. That took like 4 or 5 headshots. Holy shit. And they said blue 4, or op 4 had the better gear with that 12.7. Lucky grenade throw. He turns the corner and still gets killed by the shrapnel. Another grenade goes in. That one goes far left, though. So now we have a 4v3. And I think blue 4 just lost. 4v2 as we see another man get gunned down. This attack pushing. Roy holding his best here as he's going on the southern flank, but he is but one man. And Scandy, despite Cats losing both rounds last week, are bouncing back here, wrapping it up for Fonz. More grenades going in, collapsing all the glass in the greenhouse. Looking back at Roy, systematically clearing buildings. I mean, he could potentially eliminate Fonz and get everyone else down there, but that's not going to mean anything with what's going on in the final sector here. Meanwhile, OpFor pushing this remaining area. They're getting flanked as they pushed out. Samuel, though, tapping who they can. RGO's going in on impacts, double tapping players here, and Samuel gets that final tap. Another grenade goes in there, and that's that garrison felled. Meanwhile, Roy, I think, just got knocked out by a rooftop member here. Yep. Ah, yes, T with the scoped freaking Mosin. The man with the hunting rifle ends the inner Adriano spree, but Nuzzy was also taken out. Hey, 3 kills to 1 death is not bad in a 30v30. We finally have a member of Scandy. 2 members of Scandy knocked out. It's now 2v2, but we do have a breach going on. Does he hear it? Malin crouched down, basically allowed for Brother Erectus to look down and aim for the head as Malin was aiming for the torso. And that is the 3rd knockout on Scandy. We have a little bit of a bounce back here. Defraud, though, is taken out on knockout. And it's up to Brother Erectus to hold. Oh, boy, it is a 1 versus. He double taps Malin. But we have a lot of OpFor players remaining. So, guys, it's time. Can Brother Erectus channel his inner Adriano and still survive the round because it's already technically lost? Let's find out. So he immediately has 2 members of Scandy because it looks like one of them woke back up to contend with outside of the sector. In about a minute or 2, he's going to have 6 members of OpFor coming from his northwest, and then a final remaining wave of another 4 OpFor from the southwest. Realistically, if he's able to take these members out quick enough, he could defeat OpFor in detail. However, he is going to be stuck holding the sector, and if he gets locked down in this building, it's going to be over for him. But at the same time, we do see OpFor working on a casualty up there. We see someone being carried over, but we don't see a medic, so that could slow down that northern group. Meanwhile, we do have another wounded guy right here, but OpFor appears to be moving up on foot slowly. Brother Erectus trading rounds here with Cats. The only hope Brother here has of surviving is if he's able to take out these 2 OpFor guys. Then maybe he could get in some of these buildings, get on some Overwatch positions, and pick off additional OpFor that come in. But it's do or die at this point. He is the last guy here. But that isn't going to mean dick if he is unable to pull it off. Now it's 3 players because one of them woke back up. A 1v3 against Scandy. That is not a good position to be in. He is just going to be building camp in the best he can. He does have these windows, but smoke grenade has been pushed out. Scandy on aggressive here. Immediately takes suppressive fire, so Brother Erectus pulls back. He did get a few nice shots in on the first assaulter here. That was Cats, and he gets Cats by pulling back to these windows here. So definitely utilizing his defensive position to his advantage as he's able to basically gun down Op4 as they try to run up to his building. However, looks like that southern push has pushed in, and the northern push also starting to come in as well. Not looking good for Brother Erectus here. Can he stay erected attention enough in order to fight off all of the Op4? Another issue is now multiple Op4 have entered the sector, so it's going to start counting down because he's lost that number advantage, so it might push Brother Erectus to start leaving the building, but as soon as he does, he could potentially get gunned down. He is now taking some fire from the window as Cullis is going to keep him pinned on those windows. That smoke grenade just ran out, though. So we might have some double tapping shots. That might have been Op4 on Op4 here. Brother Erectus, meanwhile, on the windows, takes some pretty hefty fire here. His arm gets taken out. He now takes fire from outside the window, and then a freak Samuel runs in. He's had enough of Brother Erectus' shit and puts him down. Brother Erectus going down a bit prematurely there. Ouch. And that is GG. Fonz is going to get a perfect score for the first round. Pretty well played. That's it. We will still have round 2 in a bit. Both sides are going to switch, and we will go from there. But overall, that was pretty nice. Yep, there's the admin message. 10 to Fonz, 0 to Nanard. Op4 wins that round. And well, look at that. Orn got 6 kills. I know Samuel got 4, Roy de Camper on 3, but where's Orn? He had to have been Op4. Yeah, part of, yeah, he survived the entire time on Hasher 01. Damn. Great killing there. All right. That was a good last stand, though. I do agree. All right. Round is going to flip-flop now. We'll go ahead and pay out the prediction, and I need to make a new one for this, so this will be one of the last times you see it, but still have to run it. As an Arma 3